everybody. Barry Hyatt here at the UT Extension Office in Gallatin, Tennessee with my good friend Lynne Knight, who is doing our Recipe of the Month segment this month. And Lynne, what do you have in store for us today? I know it smells great already.
Yeah, well today, Barry, we're going to be making a minestrone soup.
Okay.
And, you know, with soups in January and cold weather, it's just one of those things that I think a lot of people prepare, and you know, it makes you feel warm, and so it fills you up. And
if
so
you got a sore throat, kind of helps that a little bit too.
Yes, it does. It does.
My voice is kind of gone, so you can probably kind of tell. This would be probably a good recipe for me to make. I would say.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it would be. So it's going to be a great recipe for us to demonstrate today, and get your thinking making some soups this winter time.
Awesome. Well, let's just get right to it, and let's talk about the ingredients and what all is involved here.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off with 4 tablespoons of margarine or butter, and of course you want to make sure your butter is unsalted. Okay, so we're going to put that actually into the stock pot. Make sure your pot is a heavy-duty stock pot, because we're going to be using this pot for quite a ways, as far as like an hour simmering and so forth.
Okay.
So while we're waiting for that to kind of melt just a little bit before we add some of the other ingredients, just a little bit of history on minestrone.
Yes.
And so the origin of that is Italy.
Okay.
And because it has a tomato base for the soup, and minestrone actually means big soup.
Oh, wow.
For Italians.
Okay.
And it means that it's full of healthy vegetables, it has lots of vitamins and minerals, and so they're, you know, Italians are big on pasta and beans and vegetables, so that's what the base of this soup is.
Okay, very
so we're going to be doing that. So again, like I say, we're just going to let our 4 tablespoons of butter or margarine, we're going to let that melt. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add some of our vegetables here.
Okay.
So we can go ahead and start and get this sauteing, because we're going to saute our vegetables for just a few minutes. So what we have here is we have 3/4 of a cup of chopped onions.
Okay.
So we're going to add that.
Now, if you don't like onions, would it be better to leave them out, even though it may not taste as good?
Well, if you don't like onions at all, you might want to just add maybe like a tablespoon. I mean, because it does give it that flavor, because when we saute all of these together, you're going to start smelling that aroma, and that gives it a good seasoning for the soup.
Gotcha. Okay.
Then we're going to add 1/4 cup of chopped celery to this. And you can hear it already kind of start sizzling a little bit, and get this kind of stirred up. Then we're going to add 1/2 cup of chopped carrots to this. Okay, so this is what our basis is for our soup. And like I said, we need to make sure our butter is all melted.
Right. And
then, like I say, we're going to saute those for just a few minutes. Okay. So another thing, while that's kind of simmering there, another thing about the soup is it's like, you know, we're going to talk about all the ingredients that are actually in this recipe, but it's open. So whatever you want to have. So like if you're home, you know, from the snow and you can't get out, you know, hey, this might be a good time to clean out my cupboard. So you can add corn, you could add zucchini, squash, spinach, anything, any type of vegetables that, you know, that you want. You want to have the basics, you know, and then you can add to it whatever you want. So it's like a garden in itself. All right. Okay, so those vegetables there have sauteed for a little bit. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add our 19 ounces of Collini beans. And this is a large white kidney bean, okay, that we're going to add to this. Now you can add any other type of white bean. There's navy beans, there's Great Northern beans, any type of white bean. It can be substituted for these beans here.
Would those be considered Italian beans, I guess?
Well, no, not really.
Not necessarily? Okay.
No, not necessarily.
Just the name sounded kind of like it.
Well, that's true. I have to look that up. So we'll just add that to the pot, and then from now on, we're just kind of putting these ingredients in there and talking about those. Okay. So then we also then have 1/2 cup of shredded cabbage. Okay. Okay. And we'll just add that to there.
You need a big pot for this, don't you?
You sure do, because it, you know, time we get everything added in there, and then, you know, it's gonna make that pot fill. So this is a 5-quart
Yes.
stock pot.
Okay, very good.
Alrighty, so then we're gonna add, this is actually stewed tomatoes. Now, of course, if you're a big canner and you raise tomatoes in your garden,
Yes.
you do have your own tomatoes, but these, of course, I just bought at the store. It's a 14.5 ounce can of stewed tomatoes. Okay. Okay. And then we're gonna add just 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. That kind of helps thicken up everything that we're putting in here.
Okay.
Okay. Just get that in there.
Sure.
Alrighty. Okay, then we're gonna have 1.5 cups of chopped up, cubed up potatoes, and these are the golden russet potatoes.
Okay.
Of course, any potato would be sufficient for that.
Right.
Okay, let me turn this back up just a little bit.
Okay.
And
It's filling up there, Lynn.
it is. Just get this all kind of mixed in there. Of course, we have a few more ingredients to go. Then we're going to add actually 1 quart of chicken broth.
Okay.
And then again, if you're a cook and you roast chickens and turkeys, you know, sometimes you have your homemade broth.
Already made.
So you can use that, but 1 quart of that chicken broth is actually just poured in there.
Okay, very good. That's quite a bit there, isn't it?
It is. So yeah, so that pot starts to fill up pretty quickly.
Right.
Okay, then after that, we're going to add 2 cloves of garlic minced. Okay.
Sure.
So again, don't be confused with the whole bulb of garlic. You know, you want just 2 cloves of the garlic.
Right. Gotcha.
And there's several ways you can, you know, make the garlic. Of course, this is just the skins taken off the cloves and then just chopped up.
Right.
So that's minced up, and that goes in there.
Okay.
Then we're going to have, let's see, 2 tablespoons of dried parsley.
Okay.
Okay, dump in there. A teaspoon of salt. Dump in there. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to, again, just mix all this up.
Now, normally, how long does this? Did you say about an hour to cook this?
Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to cover it.
Okay.
We're going to put it on a low simmer.
Okay.
And we're going to let this simmer for an hour.
For an hour. Okay.
So what that happens is all those flavors, you know, from the soup will intensify.
Yes.
And then they'll you know, of course, the tomatoes and the potato, all the vegetables will become tender.
Right.
And so that will make, you know, it more edible to eat and so
Right.
forth. So what we do, we would just, for time's sake, you know, we put the lid on and we let that simmer for an hour.
Okay, very good.
After we do that, again, of course, I'm going to let this kind of cook before I actually add the pasta.
Right.
So then we're going to add, again, 1/2 cup of elbow macaroni to that after it has simmered for an hour. And then you're going to cook it for 30 more minutes.
Okay.
That lets the macaroni cook.
Sure.
So, and you can also use any type of pasta. It doesn't have to be the elbow macaroni.
Right.
So, again, like I say, you know, whatever you have in your cupboard, you know, on that snowy winter day, you can just pull it out and you can just throw it in the pot and make your soup. So I'm not going to actually add this
Right now, because you have to let it cook for about an hour, or simmer, you said.
Yeah,
about an hour.
that's true.
Sure.
And
Now, you said you made this at your home
I did.
a couple nights ago, right?
I sure did.
And how did it turn out?
It turned out great. We really enjoyed it. Now, I have to admit that my husband, he likes to have some type of meat,
Right.
you know, with his meals and so forth. So you can add any type of meat to this stew also. But we just, you know, had something on the side and had the soup also. Very, very filling. Again, we had some French bread to go along with that soup, and it turned out great.
Well, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, hey, if you guys want this recipe, it's oh so easy to get. You can get it in one of 2 ways. You can email me at North Central. My email address there is barry.hyatt@nctc.com, or simply go to our website. It's www.nctc.com. We will make sure the recipe and this video will be on there. Well, Lynn, thanks so much for helping us out today. I know it's going to turn out great when we finally get it finished, and thanks for all your help on this.
Oh, well, more than welcome. I'm glad to help you with this.
Fantastic.
Appreciate
well, guys,
it.
thanks so much for watching. Take care, and have a great rest of your day.